Here with me today is Bobby Miles from the Basement Doctor Cincinnati. He's been in the business for, at least with this business, right, 37 years. Is that where you started?
No, I didn't start there.
No?
That's where I'm going to end, though.
Oh. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so, this time of year, it gives us a pause. It gives us a moment to think about what we're seeing around our home, around our foundations. If we're feeling cold air coming from anywhere, then I would think if you're feeling cold air, I always go to, sealing, like sealing around doors and windows. How's your insulation? In your brain, where do you go when you're feeling cold air coming in?
Well, if we have cold air coming into our house, that means we have cracks somewhere, right? Could be in the wood, could be, anywhere like that to where cold air is coming in. So air sealing is a big, as you know. In a basement, it would be around where the foundation wall meets the basement wall.
Okay.
That's where you would seal around in that. In a crawl space, the same thing, where the house meets the crawl space foundation wall, whether it be block or poured concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And you can seal that off using spray foam. A closed cell foam, though. Don't use open cell foam. Open cell foam will off gas if it's ever in a fire, and that's very harmful.
So you went over my head there with your closed cell foam and your...
Yes.
So explain to me, if I were to try to do it myself, what do I look for if I'm sealing something? Is it the foam that spreads out kind of stuff?
Yeah, so...
And you put it in a crack?
We're dealing with two different things, right? So if you're sealing around a window...
Yes.
Right, that's not a confined space, right? So you can go to the big box store, and buy expandable foam to fill in around that. But when you're in a confined space, which is, a basement or a crawl space, okay, those are what we call confined spaces, then you want to use closed cell foam. It is an expandable foam, right? But a lot of times those will come in big containers because you're doing the whole entire baseboard. And therefore, those would be, if you try to do that in one of those little bitty cans, you would be there.
You probably need thousands, hundreds of cans.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
and that's a professional job, most likely.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hire a professional to do that for sure.
Okay.
But, it's to do that, you're going to save a lot on your heating and cooling costs. And it's beneficial, right, to stop the air from coming into our houses.
Absolutely. So, and a lot of people in the Cincinnati area do have crawl spaces. Maybe they're a little more rural areas or something like that. Having your crawl space sealed can be so much more healthy for you and your home, because a lot of times when I see crawl spaces over the years, it's just dirt, right?
Yep.
That's not really the best scenario. Correct? Or is it okay?
Let's back up just a second.
Okay,
so
good.
Houses have the air comes in up through the house and up through the attic.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
So, and that's constant, right? So if you're over a crawl space, the air is coming in from outside.
Right.
The moisture and the humidity that we talked earlier is coming in, causing wood rot, mold, all of that stuff, and then going up, and you're breathing it upstairs, right?
Correct.
And then it goes out. So what you want to do is seal that crawl space, seal that dirt off from, seal the dirt off from the outside, right? So we call putting a diaper. You put a roof on it.
Yeah.
We put a diaper under it.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
And therefore you're sealing that off from the earth. We talked about basement waterproofing, right? So if water can come up in a 8-foot down in a concrete floor, think what it can do in a 3-foot dirt crawl space, right? And a crawl space is one of those things that's out of sight, out of mind. We never go down there.
Right.
We never want to go down there.
No.
Because we don't need to go down there.
Right.
But so people don't know. You could have, a foot of standing water down there, and we know what happens with wood and water, right? Rot.
Yep.
And all of that kind of bad stuff.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you want to have checked. So, have someone go down there and check it for you just to make sure that everything's okay.
Right. And your guys will do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Free of charge.
Oh, see? That is even better. Because if you get an estimate free of charge to have someone, a professional, go into your crawl space that you don't want to go into, I'm sure that your technicians find all kinds of snake skins and
Yes.
critter remains and
Yes.
who knows what else they
Yes.
find in those. So sealing it properly with the so-called diaper really does, and oftentimes I find that people run into this when they test for radon.
Mm-hmm.
When they test for radon and a crawl space, or maybe it's a half basement situation where you have crawl space on one side of the house and you're looking at dirt in that
Yep.
in that area, it's going to be more expensive. It will be more costly to put that diaper on. That will last a long time.
Yeah, 15 to 20% on your heating and cooling costs. And it's funny you say about radon.
Mm-hmm.
Just yesterday, I was down, and I've been working with this customer in Kentucky. It's a sad thing, but I'm going to help them out. So their radon level is 15.
Okay.
Which is
Which
way
is over
high.
it's over the
It's
EPA limit.
4, I think.
Correct.
Is what the EPA
4
was.
is the number that we try to stay below.
And the saddest thing is his wife has lung cancer, and she's on the lung cancer transplant list.
Mm.
So I'm taking it very much to this couple, this husband and wife, and I told them when I went down there, and they've had other people out, and just not doing the right thing for them. And I said, listen, don't pay me a thing. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna solve this radon issue. I'm gonna encapsulate this crawl space. We're gonna get it down below EPA levels. If I don't, you don't pay me. And that's
But
talking
you
to
will. The good news
Oh,
is you will get it below the limits. Unfortunately, and we can't say that's what caused the lung cancer.
No, you can't. No.
You can't say that, but at the same time, it's certainly not helping the situation.
Correct. They say that radon is the second leading, maybe, to lung cancer. I'm not sure about that. In any aspect of it, we know it's not good for you, So
Right.
we will do what we can, and I'm pretty sure that we can get it down below EPA levels, and that's
Well, and that's the one thing about radon mitigation systems now, today, they're so efficient. And
Yeah.
if you do it right and you do seal off the areas properly that need to be sealed, you can get those levels to 1 or less. And again, that's the safety and health of your family and your home.
we do a crawl space. Our liner is 20 mils thick, right? So, and it carries a 25-year transferable warranty against rips, tears. If you get down there and you rip it, we fix it for free.
Okay.
But we actually seal it to the foundation wall mechanically, and we fasten it, and then we also seal it with a urethane base to make sure that there's no air that could come out of that diaper, so to say. And therefore, it stops all of that moisture from coming up. You stop the moisture, you stop all that, and then you dehumidify that space,
Right.
dropping the relative humidity below 55%, where dust mites, molds, and allergens can't live. Therefore, you have warmer floors, less energy cost, and better air for your family to breathe.
And so, yeah, this time of year, you may feel that cold more than you would feel it any other time of the year. So getting on your schedule, the Basement Dr. Cincy. Let's talk about the best way to get a hold of you. If crawl spaces, foundations, anything of that nature, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, they can look us up online, basementdrcincy.com. They can call the office at 513-554-0555. Yeah, come into the office in Loveland.
You got it. They've got a beautiful building.
Thank you.
It really is. We were able to take a tour. Our whole office went and took a tour of your building, and it's pretty impressive. You got a lot going on over there.
Thank you so much.
Oh shoot, we're almost out of time. We only have a minute. Can you do sump pumps in a minute?
Okay, so, after a dry spell comes a wet spell, right? People need to make sure that they have a battery backup. If you have a sump pump in your basement, get a battery backup.
100%.
It's the number one calls we get in the spring, right? It's another one of those things that's out of sight, out of mind. We're not going down, we're not checking it. Right now, there's no water in those sump pumps. When the rains come, they will get water in them. Please, get a battery backup. Don't let your basement flood and ruin your stuff.
Absolutely, because you're going to have to deal with insurance. You're going to have to deal with drying things out. None of that is good news. So check your sump pump, make sure it's working. before it's too late.
It's so easy to put a battery backup on a sump pump,
Yep.
and it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't have to worry about it, right? From there on out, you can rest assured that your stuff's going to be safe.
Absolutely. Bobby Miles, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.